Doing a prediction show.
What's that?
What's that? A pair of guys who have never been wrong in their entire lives.
Absolutely. A pair? How about the three of us?
Just ask their wives.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I don't have one. Yeah. Welcome on in to our NBA TV forecast predictions. Over the next 60 minutes, we're going to tell you everything you need to know to get ready for the upcoming NBA season. Let's start right out of the gate, getting right to it. Let's put 24 seconds on the clock, rapid fire, a whole bunch of big-time questions. Number one, who's going to have a better regular season record, the Lakers or the Clippers?
Oh, man, that's the number one question in the NBA. I'm going with the Clippers. I just think with Paul George, Kawhi Leonard's defensive prowess, you had in Patrick Beverly, I just think they're going to figure it out. And also with their bench being so deep. I know Paul George has come back from the shoulder surgery. I think they're deep enough to hold down the fort until he gets 100%.
You know I hate to agree with you, but I agree with you. When you think about the Lakers, there are a lot of things in flux. Look, you got LeBron James and AD, but we don't know about the Laker bench. We know about the Clippers because they made the playoffs last year and they're ancillary players.
Shot clock violation.
Okay.
What else?
Coach Sam
Tee
Mitchell.
me up. I'm used to it.
More LA. Get used to it. It's the epicenter of basketball. 24 seconds of the clock. Better duo, LeBron and AD or Kawhi and Paul George?
I'm going to go with LeBron and AD just for this reason. There's a lot of things up in the air with Kawhi and Paul George with the injuries and the load management. I'm going with AD and LeBron because of that.
I'm still going with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, big picture. I think when they get healthy, you got a great point. Once Doc Rivers figures out load management, I just think when they're 100%, their defensive prowess is going to be A.
But isn't the supporting cast so much better with the Clippers? They don't need to be as good with the Clippers as they do as the Lakers. Let's put a pause on LA for just a second. We'll come back to it. Let's go Warriors theme here for the next couple. Who's going to have a better regular season record? Golden State or the team they beat in the NBA Finals, the Blazers?
I'm going with the Blazers. You got Damian Lillard. Come on. You just got too much with those guys, and they're used to being in this position. Every year they're counted out, but they always make the playoffs and come through.
Yeah, I'm going with the Blazers as well because I just think CJ and Dame are great leaders. I know there's some new pieces coming to the team.
A lot of new pieces.
It may take a while for them to mesh in chemistry, but I believe in those two guys as leaders to get them to the next level. They will have a better record.
You both picked the Blazers. How about who will have a better regular season record? The Warriors, the team they lost to in the NBA Finals, the champs, the Raptors.
You know what's so funny, guys? With KD being gone, I think Draymond and Steph Curry are going to have wonderful years because less pressure. They're not guaranteed to get back to the finals. They're just going to go have fun, get D'Angelo Russell on the same page. I think they're going to have a better record than the Raptors.
Because of all those things, and the most important thing, the Toronto Raptors play in the Eastern Conference, and the East is not nearly as tough as the West. I'm going to give the Raptors the edge because of the conference they're playing.
All right, quick break from L.A. We go right back to it. When it's all said and done, it's just a regular season award. Who's going to have a stronger MVP resume, LeBron or Anthony Davis?
I'm going with AD. Look, it's time for LeBron to start slowly passing the mantle. If the Lakers are going to be what we think they can be and hope they can be, AD, it's time for him to step up the bright lights, the big stage of LA. It's time for AD to start playing like an MVP.
LeBron, you keep telling us you're the best. You keep showing us year after year you can be the best. I still think you have to prove it again along with AD playing great, but you have to set the table and lead the way. I go with LeBron.
Who will have to make a bigger adjustment to their game, Russell Westbrook or James Harden?
Oh, Russell Westbrook, where are you, Russell? Give up a little bit. You have James Harden. No more Steven Adams. Clint Capella, he wants those rebounds, so there's no triple-double coming this year. Tweak your game a little bit, play some more defense.
I think Mike D'Antoni going to love these two guys. You got two guys can get you 60 and 20. The only other guy they got to worry about getting his touches is Eric Gordon. I think neither one of those guys have to make an adjustment. Mike D'Antoni is going to unleash the Crackers and let those guys run.
Hold on, is that allowed? No, picking none of the choices? Is that
Absolutely.
Judges
It's
say
my prediction.
All right, you get one on that. Okay, listen closely on this next question here. Who will attempt more three-pointers the entire season? Ben Simmons or a man who said he's been in the lab working on it, Dwight Howard?
You go
I'm
first.
going to say Ben Simmons. It better be Ben Simmons because, one, I've been knowing Dwight since he was a little kid.
Right.
He better not even think about shooting a three.
Oh, he's thinking about it.
Yeah, he can think about it. But every time he think about it, don't think about it. Ben Simmons.
Ben, you left-handed, right? You left-handed. Get it up there, leave it as much as possible, and Dwight, to his point, get your butt down in the post. Ben Simmons, please.
By the way, Dwight's made 6 threes in his career. Ben Simmons, 0 bagel in his career.
Man, that's a tough
Who
one.
will be the best player, Dennis, this upcoming season on the Boston Celtics?
I'm going to go with Jason Tatum. I think it's obviously he got the injury throughout USAB basketball, but once that foot gets 100%, I just think I just think, Sam, the way he's played the last couple of years, I think he's going to be the guy.
I agree with that. Look, you look at Jason Tatum's size and his skill set. Look, I love Kemba Walker. I love Jaylen Brown. But Jason Tatum has superstar written across him. It's just time for him to develop. But if he can stay healthy, I think Tatum.
No Enes Kanter? Come on. Who will have a better sophomore season? The Rookie of the Year, Luka Doncic, or the man who finished second, Trae Young?
I'm going to go with Trae Young. I like Luka, but Trae Young can flat out shoot that thing. And I think the Hawks are going to be one of the surprise teams of the NBA. They're young, they're energetic, got a good young coach. I'm picking Trae Young.
You know what? I have to go with Trae Young too, because I think the unicorn is going to take stuff away from the Dom. I think that's why. I think Trae, the ball's in your hand, go be ice Trae the game.
The shot clock is off. We've made some rapid fire predictions. Now let's get right to the juicy stuff. Who's making the playoffs? Gentlemen, let's start in the Eastern Conference. We'll go 8 through 1. Let's show you who we have at the number 8 seed in the Eastern Conference. Sam, you've got the defending champs, the Raptors. Meanwhile, 3D, the Nets.
Yes, I picked the Nets because we know the Eastern Conference is kind of all up in a shambles, so to speak. But I think they're going to be tough until Kyrie figures out how to play the defense the Nets played last year. I think they're going to struggle early on.
I know they lost Kawhi, the Raptors did, but look, anytime you had the best group of role players ever in the NBA, they got to be at least an 8 seed after they won the championship.
All right, you got the baby Bulls coming in at 7. They're ready to make the playoffs?
I'm bullish on Zach LaVine. You had him as a rookie in Minnesota. The kid works his butt off. Laurie Marketing, another kid I think is ready to take that Nets leap and being a great player, a great young player, should I say. And I think their bench, a guy like Thaddeus Young, I think he can come in and help them.
All right, let's go to number 6 here for both of you. Who do you have? We've got the Hawks at 6 and the Heat at 6 for you. You had the Heat at 7.
Well, when I look at these two teams right here, especially the Hawks, I love the young talent. I love Trae Young. I love the pieces. I like the coach. I like what they're doing in Atlanta, putting together this team. Miami, Pat Riley. Look, Pat Riley's not going to stay down forever. They added Jimmy Butler. You got Dragic. Got a championship coach, Eric Spoelstra. They're going to figure out how to win.
All right, we'll see if they make some additions. At number 5 in the Eastern Conference for both of you, 3D has the Pistons going all the way up to 5. I assume you believe Blake Griffin is not only going to be healthy, but he won't be traded.
Has to be healthy. I'm not worried about the trade. That's part of our game. I think if Blake can stay 100% in the way he showed us until he got hurt last year, and some of these other guys they brought in can play better and play up the par, in Drummond, I think this team can finally show some noise, but they got to stay healthy, to your point.
I just like the culture of what Nate McMillan and the Pacers have done right now. You look at that culture. They're going to win games based on the culture because when you walk through that door, even though Oladipo is going to be out a little bit, when you walk through that door, they have established who they are and how they play.
Yeah, Nate McMillan saying that he expects Victor Oladipo to miss at least opening night and likely more. And they bring in Malcolm Brogdon, they bring in T.J. Warren. They've got some depth in the backcourt. We'll see how that translates. At number 4, we're talking home court advantage in the Eastern Conference. Sam, you've got the Nets up all the way at 4.
Well, think about it. This same Nets team made the playoffs, and it's tough. So they have their role players. Guess what they added? One of the top talented guys in the point guard position, Kyrie Irving. So he should be enough to uplift him in a weak Eastern Conference to that 4th seed over these other teams.
All right, let's go to number 3 now in the Eastern Conference. We've got the Celtics for both of you. Now, listen, last year, Dennis, they probably were the most disappointing team, if not in the entire NBA, all of the East. Why this year do you feel like they can be the 3rd seed?
Well, it's time for Jaylen Brown and Tatum, all those guys to grow up. You bring in Kemba Walker. We know he's an all-star and solid player. I just think you brought up Kanter's name earlier. There's some big guys now they have, I think, need to be, helping them out as supporting cast. If they do that, they should be at 3.
Yeah, I mean, look at the rest of the Eastern Conference. It's not a strong conference when you take out the top 2 teams. The Celtics still a very talented team. And again, those 3 young players that you have, Jaylen Brown and Tatum, look, man, those guys, time for them to step up and take them to a new level.
Before we show the top 2 seeds, safe to say, Bucks and Sixers, right? That's the only 2 missing. Nobody's got any weird wild cards. Sam?
No.
Okay.
What you thought I was going to say, Knicks?
You don't have the magic here. By the way, nobody's got the magic.
No, not yet.
Let's show number 2. Wow, and then number 1, we've got a reversal here. So, Sam, why exactly did you decide to go Sixers at number 1 after the Bucks had the best record in basketball?
Because look at what they've lost. They've lost shooting. Anytime you was one of the best shooting teams in the league and you start subtracting shooting from the roster, and then you look at what the 76ers added, the talent. When you go out and get an Al Horford to line, not only do you bring just a glue guy, but you bring a true professional pro to that team, and he's going to elevate Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. They're going to be more professional because of adding Al Horford to that team.
Do you believe Giannis can be better?
I believe Giannis will be better because he wants to work. Everyone we talked to say Giannis is a worker, so I'm sure he's going to be in the gym and work harder than he's seen. We know he didn't have a good summer basketball being with Euro basketball, so I think he's really going to step his game up and go to another level.
Surprised no magic by either of you.
Not yet. They're not ready yet. They're not ready yet. Not yet.
Well, they made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, and what did they do?
Okay, this is about making the playoffs. Let's go Western Conference. Let's show you 8-1 in the West for both of these guys.
Here we go.
At number 8.
What we got?
The Warriors.
Oh.
Wow. All the way to 8. Number 7. Let's show you who we got here in the Western Conference. The Spurs.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Jonte Murray, Lonnie Walker. Obviously, we know DeMar DeRozan and LA going to do what they
Greg
do.
Popovich.
Come on.
Need we say
and
more?
Pop's going to make sure they play
the
well.
The best coach in the NBA last 20 years.
Yeah. Yes.
Not even close.
Let's go to number 6 in the Western Conference for both of you. Did you guys cheat off of each other on this one?
Hey,
Great minds think alike.
There we go.
What about all of the changes and the uncertainty if Nurkic is going to be able to play at all?
I agree with you, Jared, but I'm strongly believing that Dame Lillard and CJ are such great leaders and going to lead by example and do the right thing. They're going to show the new guys how to win.
Of all the players we talked about, name the 2 players don't go in for that load management. Those 2 guys, their stars want to play 82 games.
Right.
That's why I'm picking the Blazers.
All right, at number 5 in the Western Conference, both of you again have the Utah Jazz. A lot of people feel like they could be a home court advantage team. Why did you feel like you weren't ready to put them there?
Because it's still a lot of unknowns here. When you think about this Jazz team, look, we got to see if Donovan Mitchell ready to take that next step. In the past, he's always gotten the pass because he's been on a mediocre team and been a superstar. Now he has some players. You got Mike Conley Jr. You got Bogdanovich. You got Rudy Gobert coming back who should get better. So they've added more pieces and more talent. So we're going to find out if Donovan Mitchell, and I agree with you, Jared, they could be a 4th seed if Donovan Mitchell plays at the level we all think he can.
And most importantly, I think, too, Mike Conley's got to be healthy.
That's where I was going.
Year.
That's where I was going. Yep.
All right, let's go home court advantage in the Western Conference in at number 4. Wow, both of you have the Lakers. Now, which way were you leaning here? Were you confident they'd be a top 4 team, or were you on the fringe of maybe they would make the playoffs but not be in there?
I was on the fringe early on. We were thinking about it. We got the email from our producer. I was back and forth. But if LeBron James stays healthy, he doesn't have the injury he had last year with the groin like he had with the Lakers, I think they'll be right in the playoff hunt, no problem.
No, LeBron James, that can't be a 4th seed?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just hard to bet against that.
I think the thing we have to keep in mind here is that the difference between the 4th seed and missing the playoffs could be 1 game.
Yes, for the Western Conference. Great call.
Conference.
Yeah, Western Conference, we saw what happened last year.
Right.
From 3 down to 8 was only a 1-game separation.
No question. Yeah. At number 3 in the Western Conference, again, both of you have the Clippers. So they have the best offseason of any team in basketball, adding Kawhi Leonard and Paul George to a team that made the playoffs. They bring back the 6th man of the year, but
guess
3
what?
seed, why aren't they better?
They 2 stars can't play 82 games if they wanted to because of load management and injuries. So they're going to lose some games because they're going to have to sit PG and Kawhi Leonard at times. So when you look at the Clippers, for the Clippers and Lakers, it's not about the regular season. It's about positioning, being in that top 4 to get yourself ready for a playoff run.
And Doc Rivers has to figure out, and you know this as a coach, once the season starts, not a whole lot of practices. It's a lot of mental practices. So if you can figure that out and you can get Paul George and Kawhi Leonard to play more games, it could go up higher.
All right, so who don't we have here? Unless you guys have some major surprises, I would imagine Houston. We don't have the team that finished second in the West last year, Denver.
And they added.
Let's see number 2.
Who we got?
And so at number 1, it will be the Denver Nuggets.
I know. Hey, listen to me. I covered the Denver Nuggets, the whole Western Conference, watched their run. I love what Michael Malone has done with this team. They brought everybody back. Jamal Murray got his money. The Joker got his money. Millsap has to stay healthy. They got Michael Porter Jr. supposedly going to play this year. I love everything about
Jared
them.
and DJ. D, this may be the deepest team.
Yes.
They're going to have guys that's not dressed sitting behind the bench that can play minutes for other NBA teams.
Yes.
They're so deep, I don't know what Mike Malone's biggest problem going to be finding minutes for these guys. So when you look at Nuggets, and we took a look at this, the most complete team maybe in the NBA when you talk about 1 through 15.
A lot of rumblings that the president of the team, Tim Conley, may have something up his sleeve to make a big deal because he has so many assets.
Oh,
at
my
his
God.
disposal.
Oh, my God.
He's got players that won't put a uniform on that would be in the rotation of any of these teams in the Western Conference and start for some of the teams in the East.
There you have it. The teams that will make the 2020 NBA playoffs, according to 3D and Sam Mitchell. We've got plenty more predictions to come. Who will be the league MVP? Will it be LeBron for a 5th time? Will it be Harden for a 2nd time? Who else is in the mix and who do our guys have? We're coming right back at NBA TV's Forecast Predictions.